So we've used our 2 on A, and this first A is slurred with the C. So the E and the first C sharp are slurred together. That's E and C sharp, and then C sharp in the first A. And then there's luckily a little break, so you can swap to your 4, and then your 3 on the G, because you need to have your 2 ready to go on the F sharp, and that's the reason they do it. So we need these 2 together, and then these 2, and then we've hit the A with our 2, but the next A needs to be with our 4, then our 3, and then our 2's ready to go again. And then the second time, we need to get to the E again with our pinky for the last bit, which goes... But we need to play these 4 notes staccato, and you see a staccato note because they've got a dot above the note, and I'm going to show you on the music in person. So instead of playing, we play the 4 notes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last note doesn't have a staccato, so we don't play it staccato, we hold it down. And it's also got an accent or a line across the top, which means that we play it quite forcefully and quite loud, quite accented. So it goes like this. So 4 abrupt notes. And with the timing, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and... So it's quite a long note that we hold. So there, on the first bar it goes, and then we start again, and then the last one, and for now I just want you to learn it all quite loud, and we'll sort that out afterwards. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, with our group of 3's joined together nicely together. So these 3 notes are nicely slurred, and then the next 3 are slurred, and the next 3 are slurred, and there's a little gap between them where it sounds a bit disjointed. And then to our E, swap to our 4, and then our 2's ready to go again. And then our staccato notes, and then we end on our accent note, which is a D, which is how we know we're in D major. Okay, so that's the piece of the song that we're going to work on. I don't want you to work on the rest of the song yet, because I really want to get that part down, even if that takes weeks, and then move on to the next part. But the good news is, once you've learnt that part, you can also play the last part of the song, and you're more than halfway there. You're almost there. So now we're going to look at the left hand, which I prefer to learn second to the right hand, but if you like to learn it first for your next piece you can, but it's too late for this piece because I've already taught you the right hand. So this is your list A piece, by the way, and we need to find a list B and a list C, but this is my favourite one. So with our left hand we can see we've got some notes there, and I don't remember if I've written the notes on for you, but I certainly will at our next lesson. If you're having trouble reading what the notes are at the same time as you're playing, I can write them on there. For your exam, you are allowed to memorise your piece, or you can read it from the music while you're playing, and it doesn't matter which one you do. Some examiners will give you more marks if you memorise, but some don't. So it's perfectly okay to have the music with you at your exam, but you're not allowed to have anything written on the music in pen or pencil at the exam, except fingering markings. So I can write a lot of things over your photocopy for while we're learning it, and you can write notes on what fingers you want to use and what the notes are, but when it comes to the exam you either have to remember what they are or just read them off what's on the music. So in preliminary, most people find it's easy to remember, and I've seen the way that you've memorised the passages that we've learned so far, and I think it's probably going to be easier for you to remember them as well. But in the meantime, there's nothing to stop us writing on the photocopy, so we can put what the notes are so you can learn them. So the notes, we're actually starting with D in the left hand with our thumb, our number 1. There isn't actually a number 1 there, but I think number 1 fits nicely. But if you prefer to start with another finger, that's okay, just let me know and I'll make sure it works. So here's middle C here, and we want to start on the D below middle C, so not the D that's right next to middle C, but the one below it, because our right hand's up here, so our left hand needs to be down here. So we're going to start, and it's only got 1 note on each beat, so really good. That's only 3 notes in a bar. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 so it's got D, then we skip C and go to B, then we skip A and go to G. So we're playing every second note. 1, 2, 3. Then from the G we go up to the next note on our number 4, which is A. And then this is where I can actually reach, but I think you might have to jump because we want to go from this A to the A up here. So we're going from this A, and you'll have to jump to your thumb to the next A, and then with your number 4 we're going to hit back onto the C sharp. So it's D, B, G, then A, C sharp, and then D, G, B, A, D. So at the first line and the last line are the same, except the last note on the first line is C sharp, and on the last one it's D. So I'm going to play it again. So now you've heard that in your head, so when you're practicing for yourself you're going to be able to tell if it sounds right or not. And it is hard to see on the video, so you're going to have to get out the photocopy and look at the notes, and if I haven't written them on there I will, so you'll be able to practice for next time. But just try and do your best, and if you're not able to see on the video from where my fingers are or from what I'm describing, that's okay. Then I just want you to listen to how it sounds and get into your head what the song sounds like, so that it's going to be easier for you to learn it when we do come to learn it, because I don't expect it to be easy to learn, or that you're going to learn it very quickly, because it takes a lot of months to learn a piece for your exam. So I just want you to listen to what I'm saying and really try your best, which is what you always do, and that's why you're my best student. And anything that's too hard that I've asked on the video, then once I show you in person I know you'll be able to get it a lot easier. Okay, so now I'm going to play just the first bar with the right hand and the left hand together, just so you hear how it sounds. Okay, so it should sound something like this. Hopefully I can get it right. Okay, again. And I'll play it quite slowly. So we're going to have the D, and then the B, and then the G, and it's going to fit in with our right hand. So the D first, then the B, and then the G. So you can hear it. You want the right hand to sound a tiny bit louder, not so much that it's totally drowning out the left hand, but you want the melody in the right hand to sing out a little bit louder than the left hand, which in this piece the left hand's the accompaniment, which if you're right-handed it happens quite naturally that you tend to play the right hand a bit louder. I can't quite remember, but I believe you're right-handed. If you're left-handed I think it's a lot harder for people to make the right hand a bit louder, but if you're right-handed you shouldn't have too many problems. It should just come naturally. Alright, so one more time. Okay, and then the next bit, where's my finger going to be? My 4 is going to be on A. Okay, so we're going to go... Alright, and I'll do that again as well. So it'll be my 4. And then the next one is exactly the same as the first. And then... So in this bar with our staccato notes, we notice that the left hand is not staccato. So the left hand, which is A, and D, we don't play like this. We just play them normally, which can be very hard because if your one hand is doing a staccato note, your other hand wants to do it as well. So that's something I find hard to practice too, to make the left hand smooth and the right hand staccato. So see, I can't even do it there. that's why I have to keep practicing over and over and over. So, all together, once we've put it together and got comfortable with the notes and the fingering and the right hand and the left hand together, it should sound something like this. I'll play it very slowly for you. Whoops. Whoops. Well, you can see I need to practice because I keep pausing and trying to find my notes. So I bet if you actually practice this piece from what I've taught you at our last lesson and on this video, you'll actually be better than me by the time you've practiced, because that was terrible. Alright, I'm going to play one more time. So I hope that you really like that song and you'll enjoy practicing it, and don't be afraid to practice and have a try, because I just made you a whole video where I made heaps of mistakes on a preliminary song, so you don't have to worry about making mistakes, because everybody does. Even a really great piano player, if they're learning a new song, even if it's an easy preliminary song, they still make mistakes until they learn how to do it properly. So make sure you have a look at your fingering and make sure you keep the counting in your head. And the biggest thing I can say is practice as slow as you want. Play the notes really slowly, learn one bar at a time, half a bar at a time, however slow you need to go. And then when you put it together, practice jumping from bar to bar, especially when you have to jump your finger. If your fingers are going to come to a stop and you have to jump them to somewhere else, that's the bits that you need to practice so you can do it smoothly, instead of going like this and then trying to find your notes. There it is, and then trying to find it again. We need to be able to play it one after the other, which you'll be able to do when you practice it. And practice your left hand separately. So then put that together as well. And the two things to look out for are in the second bar, which goes like this, is that tricky fingering. So we're starting with our pinky on E, and though we've hit A with the 2, we need to come down with the 4 on the A again, so that we've got that 2 ready to go like this. So, and that's another thing that we need to practice, because when we get to the end of the bar, is knowing what bit comes next. And the second tricky bit is those staccato notes in the 4th bar, which are so 4 sharp notes and then a normal note. But when you're playing the left hand is not staccato, so the left hand does not go like this. It goes smoothly. And that's very tricky too. So I wish you good luck, and I hope to see you soon, and I hope you've enjoyed your piano lesson and it's been useful, and I'm sorry for all the mistakes I've made. I'm going to practice your piece until I know it off the top of my head and with my eyes closed and when I'm half asleep, and I actually bet that next time when I have a lesson with you, you'll be playing it better than I can.